Hey guys, welcome back to our weekly Premier Financial Alliance Breakthrough Success Show. I'm very excited every single week that I get an opportunity to speak to some of our uprising leaders, superstar leaders within our company. And in this show, many of them have opportunities to share with the audience how their life being impacted through the PFA opportunity and what kind of breakthroughs they encounter through this amazing platform. Today, I am super duper excited to have one of our rising star, Libby Lum, on this show. And Libby, thank you so much for making your time to meet up with me today. And great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. My pleasure to be here.
Okay, so Libby, why don't we go ahead and start off by you sharing with the audience who is Libby Lum before PFA and share with the audience about your background before you joined PFA.
Yeah, I'm born and raised here. My parents are immigrants from China. And prior to PFA, I was a single mom. Well, I'm still technically a single mom. I'm engaged now.
Okay.
And I was a realtor for 17 years before I got into this business. Just another person trying to get by in Hawaii, which happens to be the most expensive state to live in the U.S.
Sure. Now, you said that you've been a realtor for 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that's a long time.
Right.
And most people that I met, they want to change, but they're afraid to change. Let's talk about what made you want to add an additional income to your real estate business. What was the reason that made you want to do something more? Let's just say that.
For sure. There was one day in my life that changed my whole outlook in my profession. In real estate, it was my first job out of graduate school, and I did very well. But one day I remember I didn't do an open house, and I was driving in a very affluent neighborhood, and I saw this realtor who started with in the beginning. So she had probably 20 years on me, so she's definitely at retirement age. And I saw her on a Sunday at about 1:15 pull open a very heavy open house sign from the back of her trunk, putting it on the sidewalk. And so this woman makes, $500,000 million a year. But at 65 or so, she was still physically pulling out the open house sign from the back of her luxury car. And at that moment, I decided, I don't want that lifestyle. I don't want to be hawking my wares at 65, and it scared me because I never thought that I would be in the career that I was, and I thought, if I don't change anything, I'm going to blink, and that's going to be me. I'll be 65 trying to pull out the open house sign, from the back end of my nice car, and so I know that if I wanted something better for my life, I had to make a change. I kind of said a prayer in my car, going down Kahala Avenue. I said, Lord, if there's something else you want me to do, I'm open. And that was it.
Okay.
I just told myself I was open.
Got you. Now, what was the main difference between the real estate business than the insurance business like PFA? If you have to mention one or two things, what would be the main differences?
Well, there's probably two that I can think of. The first is, in real estate, it's very common that there's a saying, you are only as good as your last sale. So if you look at the algorithm for making money, you're basically trading hours for dollars. Maybe you make a little bit more per hour than a barista at Starbucks, but there's no end goal. And in PFA, you've got the potential for passive income. So I have a future to stop and do something else if I wanted to. The second thing I probably have to say for me was the culture. In real estate, I wasn't trying to be friends with every realtor I made because it's competition.
Sure.
In the insurance business, there's something communal about it. There's a pride, there's a happiness when I'm introducing somebody to the product or to the business that I just didn't have in real estate. So
Gotcha.
that fun factor was missing for me.
So what was your breakthrough moment in PFA?
For me, it came with a client. And this client was young. Months later, after getting her policy, she was diagnosed with something very serious. And so it gave me so much satisfaction that because I was willing to be a little uncomfortable, step out of my comfort zone, that this woman and her family will be protected as her health starts to change. So that I don't have that kind of fulfillment in real estate. I didn't feel like I was saving a life. I didn't feel like there was a cause behind what I was doing, although I was making great income.
I'm glad you mentioned that point because many people believe that to be successful, to make a lot of money, to build a successful company, they believe marketing before product. I disagree with that. I'm glad you mentioned that point. I think to build a successful company that has longevity, you got to focus on the right product first. Then marketing, secondary, will help your company to scale. But I think most of the companies focus way too much their resources and time on marketing on a lousy product. It might work at the beginning, but in a long-term wise, the company fail because they don't understand the right product is the core, the cornerstone of a business. And if you don't have the right product, everything ends eventually. Let's talk about how has PFA changed your outlook in life since you joined us in a short amount of two and a half years or something like that.
Well, number one, I am definitely happier. I wake up and I'm literally excited to do PFA. This morning I had to meet with my accountant, getting ready for tax season, and I walked in and he goes, "Why are you happy? You're never happy to meet with me." And I said, "I know you know what my income is in this year, and I know that," and he showed me all kinds of charts and graphs, and he goes, "Do you know I absolutely love what I do?" And he goes, "Obviously, I can see your income changing." But I said, "Before I was making money. Now I'm literally changing lives." I think as we get older, we look for meaning beyond the superficial. And I want to make sure that in addition to making money, I'm doing something that really makes a difference. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all have our personal beliefs, and I'm a very spiritual person, and money is great, but what do you do with that money? Can you change somebody else's life? And so seeing different people in my organizations from all walks of life succeed, getting excited that, hey, there's a light at the end of this tunnel, that you don't have to be hawking your wares at 65 if you don't want to, right? That you literally can do whatever you want with whoever you want, whenever you want. I didn't know what another opportunity existed out there that you can really do that. And I'm just so grateful that I found PFA.
How does your family feel about you doing something totally different than what you've done for the first 17 years? How do they feel about it? I mean, I know they're not young to a point where they don't know anything. So I met them personally. Yes. How do they feel about what you're doing?
They loved it, and I think they love it because I actually asked their permission. Okay. So before PFA was as important as it is to me now, I said, "Hey, my boys are Kai and Aiden." I said, "Kai, Aiden, if Mom's going to take a little bit of time to do this, I might miss one or two things here and there, but if I do that, I'm pretty sure I'll have the opportunity to take you around the world. Do I have your permission?" And in the beginning, they're like, "Yeah, Mom, we believe in you." And so I delivered. PFA has taken me around the world. You're one of my son's heroes. Here's this little blonde-haired boy who wants to be, yes, I have a blonde-haired boy son, who wants to be he says he wants to be the Caucasian version of Jack Wu when he grows up. But you give them hope. And one of the things I have to share with you this, as many years as I've been a realtor, my son has never said to me, "Mom, when I grow up, I want to be a realtor." In just a short few years in PFA, my son says, "Mom, when I grow up, I want to be in PFA." And I said, "Why?" So he goes, "You know, at the vacations that PFA sends you with all the trips that you win," he goes, "I see the other kids and they go every year and they say that their parents take them every year. So I want to be in PFA because, Mom, I want to travel the world with you every year." So
let's talk about PFA trips, okay, since we're on this topic. And 2020, we're going to Germany. 2021, we're going to Dubai. Every single year, PFA, we spend tons of time, resources, money to recognize rising leaders like you. How important is that to you and the organization you're building?
For me, I have a personal, deep passion for travel, and it was always constrained by time and money. And I know that as in my past life, in my past career, I had the money, I wouldn't take the time. And I remember, to be quite honest, the first year I went on a PFA trip, I thought, well, I've been there already, right? Mm-hmm. How good can it be? I've never seen an organization that takes so much time and detail into making sure its members know, hey, we value you. This is all about you. I don't know if you guys look at cost, but you guys go all out. PFA is, I can't even express the gratitude because I would never travel like this. I would never pay to have my family. I would never have the memories like the ones that were created via the PFA trip. Yeah. So I'm going to go every year. We're going to travel together every year, Jack.
We have a very generous CEO, generous CEO, David. You have accomplished something pretty amazing in 2019. You broke 300,000, in the last 12 months, a street diamond in our company. So for somebody who got licensed within 2 years to achieve that, it's pretty amazing. What is next for Libby in 2020?
Oh, other than heading to Germany and qualifying, Germany's this year, so Dubai. Yep. Honestly, I'm just grateful. Mm-hmm. And I think that to whom much is given, much is required. So I think it's responsibility, if you're a decent, good human being, if somebody gave you a break, if somebody gave you a real opportunity, pay it forward. Mm-hmm. I want some other single mom out there, and the not so single moms, the engaged moms, and the husband and wives. I want them to experience that hope. I want them to know that there is an opportunity out there that can provide you that lifestyle to do whatever it is, and it could be charity. Mm-hmm. It could be literally never missing another one of your kids' games because you were at work. So for me, I want to share this with as many people as possible, and hopefully with my experience and my background, they're like, you're not some salesperson, you're just Libby, and if you can share it with one other person and touch their lives, then you start a change in a community, and then you can change a state, you can change a nation.
So the last question I have for you is, let's assume that I'm someone who's not satisfied with my career. As a matter of fact, I'm frustrated with my career. I'm no longer growing, but I'm making a stable, secure salary. But I know I have to make a change for my family, but I'm so afraid. And I think that's one of the reasons why most people, they don't elevate in their life, is because they're afraid of change. What would you say to a person like me?
I would remind them that we all have the same 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 a year. And if you're willing to fight fear, you're gonna have something amazing on the other side. To live and be safe would be a terrible way, I think, for me personally, to live the rest of my life. If you want to do something great, if you want to change yourself, the community around you, then you have to fight that fear. I think that you feel like you're living the most when you're actually on that fringe of fear, whether it's learning a new instrument or changing a new job or starting a new workout routine. Growth takes overcoming fear. And so I would tell that person, try, because you're worth it, because your family's worth it, because the people who are relying on you to step out of your comfort zone are worth it. And you haven't even met them yet. So try, and come try it with PFA. I'm really glad. Thank you, Jack, that I did.
Well, thank you so much for your amazing story, Libby, and thank you for your trust into our company and Premier Financial Alliance. We are very blessed, very fortunate to have leaders like you who believe in our cause, our crusade, and we're going out there and changing many people's life at the same time, create a lot of great income opportunities for the people, for the agent who work within our company. So I wish you great success in 2020, not only individually, but more so with your team. So in 2020, let's crush it.
Let's crush it.
All right.